I mean, let's be real. If Jennifer Tilly in human or doll form starts seducing you, you're just gonna die. Chucky's just gonna.
And you know what? That's fine.
And she's fine. Jennifer Tilly's a treasure, and we love her.
Yep. Yeah, I love Bound. Anyway.
Welcome to Blank Bodies.
Vampire the Masquerade.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We fucked that up.
Yeah, welcome to Blank Bodies, a Vampire the Masquerade tabletop and horror podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and as always, I'm joined by...
John!
It's Sarah.
And the Lorebot.
James.
Cool. So, part two.
Part two.
Part two.
Part two.
Part two.
Ndwa.
Part ducks.
Phi.
Yeah. So, we're at the history portion for Clan Malkavian.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, fun fact, this is part of our deep dive series, so we do a combo of Patreon and Twitter polls to decide what order we're doing these in. So Malkavian won. We're in the middle of that, so let's go.
Yeah, speaking of the Twitter poll, Monday, the day this comes out, our patrons are going to get a vote on who goes on our next clan poll, and then next week, we're going live on Twitter with the poll for everyone. So if you want to get in early, see who makes it to that last poll,
Hell yeah.
We got a Patreon for that.
Hell yeah, help guide our dumbasses into making decisions.
I was just trying to think of a good, video game theme song, like a fight kind of theme song. I don't know why the Space Jam theme was the only thing that came to my mind.
That's a really bad video game.
Yeah.
It really is, though. We could do better than that. This clan deserves better than that. I'm going to give the slight content warning of this clan includes conversations about mental health, including historical mental health treatment, psychological torture, history sometimes is bad and terrifying. So if you're not feeling it, that's okay. And if you want more context for mental health portrayals in gaming, go to episode 32 for mental health in gaming. We already did that primer. We're not talking about that in this episode.
We're getting in.
We're getting into the lore. The sources that we have done for this are as goes follows. The V5 core book, Chicago by Night, Chicago Folios, Malkavian Clan Book, Malkavian Revised, Lore of the Clans, Vampire the Masquerade 20th Edition, Veil of Night, Becca's Jihad Diary, Fountains of Bright Crimson, The Eurydices Fragments, Book of Nod, Black Hand, The Guide to the Talmorah, and as well as the Camarilla book from V5, and then videos from the Primogen, Lore by Night, Owlstar, and Gentleman's Guide to Vampire.
There's just 2 or 3 things that we have
so many.
I gotta be honest, I've never even heard of Fountains of Bright Crimson before. You're pulling out the deep cuts, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's Dark Ages shit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's a lot of lore within Dark Ages in Old World of Darkness that has a bunch of really cool shit that you can pull for context for modern nights that, nobody pays attention to.
Yeah.
So,
That's because you'd have to open a book called Fountains of Deep Crimson.
It sounds like a really rad, goth album, though.
Or a really shitty romance novel.
It do be sound
It'd be good.
that book's title sounds like a gothic romance novel.
Yeah.
A classic.
I guess also to add to the fun of the Malkavianness, there might be doggo sounds.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
true.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So bonus content, there might be puppy noises.
Yeah, I got a new pup, and he is very young and excited, so we're going to see what happens.
And
but
may have abandonment issues.
That's okay.
no, he do.
He very much do.
Yeah.
He was found under a bench.
Tied to said bed.
Yep.
Yeah, welcome to Blank Bodies. We have street dogs.
Yay.
I think the most sad part about it is the fact that first image you took of him and sent to the group when you got up close looked like it could have been on a Sarah McLachlan fucking
right?
commercial. Just in the arms. Just.
Hey, so this is the intro of the episode. By the way, there might be puppy noises. If it bothers you, eat shit.
Die in a fire. All right, so...
Blank Bodies would have to say that we officially don't condone you dying in a fire. Please seek help if you want to die in a fire.
You can, if you're a Canadian citizen, you can apply for voluntary euthanasia.
Lucky bastards.
That's just a fact. There's a lot of We're in Hell did a really good video essay about euthanasia in the context because he's from Canada. It's really good. It's fucking sad, but really good.
What do they use for the euthanasia?
Drugs.
Just random drugs?
No.
Or they're just, they're like, here's
you go to
37 ounces of ketamine, some crack, and heroin.
No. You go
Heart
to
explodes.
a doctor who, I think doses you with the various amount of drugs. But in a humane and comforting way, and you do it in your own terms. And
Right.
Yeah. It's one of those it's beautiful and sad, and then also commentary on residual eugenics that exists in our society because, you know, people are like, well, if you're not able-bodied and productive, go fuck yourself. And it's just like, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you end up with a rake. Anyways. Which is not a fun time. But speaking of fun times, Malkavian history.
Malkavians?
Yeah!
I mean, I guess sometimes they're fun times.
Yeah, well, their history is one of those, like, it has ebbs and flows and the meta plot in context for how the society treats people with mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
And their esteem in society directly correlates to how well the Malkavians do in the time period. So keep an eye out on that, folks.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, because they've always felt like kind of plot devices at times. They've got a lot of open-ended stuff in their history and like what they can do and how they're used.
Yeah, so we're going to start with beginnings, as you should, with Malkav, the boy, the lad,
Yes.
the dreamer, the seer,
The
one.
moon.
the moon.
The only.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
So Malkav goes by several fucking names, including Malik, Malk, Micah, Madrid, Mad Tom, Malcolm the Malky, or just the Moon.
I really like Malcolm the Malky.
Yeah. Malcolm, I just every time I read it, I just put it to the tune of Nelly the Elephant.
I thought you were going with Malcolm in the Middle.
I wish, but no, just no. I love that song. Toy Dolls slaps.
I mean, the amount of times the Malkavians have said, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, for sure. So, fun fact, with a lot of Malkavian early history, we have no reliable sourcing, so we don't know if Malkav is actually this dude's actual name. That's just kind of what historical texts have agreed upon. There is a fun note in... I want to say it's in the Book of Nod in like the author's lining notes. So it's like the in-character character that's like compiling all of the Book of Nod. It's like, yeah, I learned the actual name for Bruja, and then I woke up and somebody had carved my name on my own forearm while I was day sleeping, so I'm just gonna not do that shit ever again.
Oh, I think that one might be the Eurydice fragment.
Yeah, it's one of those two. But yeah, that happened, and he's just like, I nerded too hard to the sun, and now I've been witnessed, and I'm just gonna not say that shit anymore.
Somebody with temporis just went, stop it.
I'm gonna give you a slight snoot. Yeah, so we don't know if that's actually his name. There's some interesting cultural notes. Malachi in Hebrew is like my angel or messenger as a name meaning. In Aramaic, Malku means king, and in Arabic, Melik it roughly translates to angel. So that theming with Malkavians is like, oh, also, oh no.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? We also have no idea who this person was before the embrace.
I feel like that's pretty common.
All we know is that they were like a sweet angel prince.
Sweet angel prince. King.
Sweet little boy.
Just the goodest noodle.
Because I think he was one of the few like original third gens that Kane was kind of like, I don't hate this one.
We'll see about that. Yeah, so when they were a human, they may have been a seer, a prophet, or even an angel. We don't know. The texts say a bunch of different shit. They might have been a twin brother of Arakel, which was the Toreador founder.
They actually say a little bit more about that in the Toreador book, too.
Yeah, which if you vote for Toreador, I'll get into it. I just find that to be neat, especially with the bloodline of the Sisters of Cacophony, because that's the Toreador and the Malkavians kind of mushed together. So, like, that's neat.
Or is it just...
Yeah. Malkav might have been brothers with Saulot and Set. Now, whether if it's biological brothers or adopted brothers or bro brothers, that's left to interpretation. Who the fuck knows?
I feel like that one specifically is the one that the books lean into the most because it comes up
Way
in multiple situations. So they're at least, the three of them were at least very close.
They are, and their interactions lead to a lot of things in the grander meta plot, which we will be discussing.
Which that might be the fact that they're all very philosopher type, just original vampires. Because like they have different perspectives. Because it feels like it's the sliding scale of morality in D&D, where it's good, neutral, evil.
Yeah, that is precisely what the parable about them is about. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Malkav might have also been the twin brother of Malachi, which means Malkav has an evil twin named Malachi, who in one of the books got banished to the Shadowlands, which for those who don't know what that is, that's basically a mirror dimension of our world that wraiths live in. So there might be a evil Malkavian that's just been chilling in the ghost portal
That's spooky.
for thousands of years.
If you don't want a very serious, over the top, crunchy, like consequency game, here's your soap opera. Here's your soap opera plug right there. Just like, oh no, it's Malkav's evil twin.
Malachi.
Ba-na-na.
Now, does Malachi just look like Malkav but with a really
Mustache.
craps mustache?
Now, was he also a vampire? Do we know? Because
Yes, he does get embraced. He doesn't have the time to make Childer, though, before he gets shoved to the ghost portal, so there's no descendants of Malachi.
What if Malachi is the Madness Network? He's been reaching out trying to get through or like communicate with his kin.
That could be fun.
That is an interesting theory.
or he could be part of why wraiths are doing their
Or
wraith thing.
Anki.
Yeah.
Or what if whatever La Sombra is not actually La Sombra, it's just Malachi?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or what if they formed antediluvian Voltron?
Oh no, I hate that.
No, that's whatever's in the flesh thing. That's antediluvian Voltron there.
That's
Well, I mean,
true.
Voltron asked for consent. That thing probably didn't.
He
Fair.
always ask for consent.
Yep,
When I
we have
go,
an episode.
Yep. A couple.
Yeah, we do have, and I'm gonna keep saying it forever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Forever until I die.
And I'll keep plugging those episodes until they're the most watched episodes.
Yes, Malkav before Embrace might have been mentally ill, but what is known as the quote-unquote the sight, like the true Malkavian understanding of illness and perception, didn't happen until after Embrace, which is one of the few facts that is actually agreed upon about that whole process for him, was they're like, oh yeah, he might have been a chill guy, might not have been a chill guy, might have had a family, we don't know, but like he wasn't super crazy until after the Embrace.
Yeah.
And even then, there's not an agreement on how it happened, when it happened, or why.
Good.
Good. A lot of
Great.
vagaries.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading in like, oh god, I think it was the earlier Gehenna book that like he had some form of sight, but not like to the degree that the Malkavians have now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why the second gens picked him.
One version of the
Yeah, yeah.
story. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like
there are so many.
there's so many, so you can just kind of have fun, do with it what you will for your chronicle.
I feel like that's kind of just the vibe of the antediluvians anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone says something different, and even if you pick one, it's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always find that to be the interesting thing. That the only reason why they gave concrete answers in the Gehenna book is they were like, okay, this is the end of the story. This is how we're ending. This is what we're like. Hey, if you're going with our ending, brr. But now with the new stuff, it's like,
It's like you thought that was an ending. It's literally World of Darkness, like Vampire the Masquerade literally did the meme of someone better call an ambulance, but not for me. But with the plot.
Yeah.
It's great. Yes, the origins of his madness. We have no fucking idea which of the second gen embraced Malkav. There's good evidence for all of them.
Oh.
yeah. Wasn't there also a theory that every one of them embraced him at once?
No.
Okay.
There is a theory that does involve all of them, but I will
Oh,
will
yeah,
get to that.
Okay.
So parts of the reason why he might have gone mad, Malkav was trying to reach beyond the threads of reality, and so he fucked around with the Fae.
That'll do it.
So he's just like, I've seen Beyond Sight, and also, we went to a garden party, and I snorted something, and now I can see everything all at once.
Malkav, you Dionysus too hard.
There's also a similar one that he kind of had theories about how the universe worked, and Cain was just like, that seems interesting. I'm gonna brace you and you can find out.
Yeah, that's kind of the next part of this. Cain, apparently there's a story where he was trying to teach his childer how to basically defy God and do things that they're not supposed to be doing, and apparently Malkav was the one who got the closest, and that ability shattered their brain.
Huh.
It's very Lovecrafty, where it's
Yeah.
like, you look too hard, and now your brain's broken.
I also like the idea of him being like, I've almost freed myself from God's, rules. And then God's like, and no.
Put a
almost
filter
Tower.
on it.
Yeah, almost Tower of Babel style. Like, you're almost here, and I'm just going to knock that over because I'm a dick.
Yeah, that's a real good parable for a generational. Is it trauma? The passing down your bullshit goals onto your children, and just being like, I need you to defeat God, Why? Because I want to defeat God. Okay, thanks, Dad. I'm glad I'm crazy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, I just want to make Daddy proud. And then don't ever do that. It's not going to work.
Although I will say with Malkav, it's hinted that he's not sad about what happened at all.
No.
And he's like, oh, sick, I broke through to the other side.
Sick.
Yeah,
He's living in the fourth dimension while leaving everyone else back in the third.
Yeah.
Is basically his point of view on things.
He's always, at least, again, we don't have any like concrete stuff on anything, but he's always read like he's just like the antediluvian that's just like, nah, I'm vibes.
Like, no, this is happening? All right.
Yeah.
But-
Cool.
No machinations, no, I'm here to take over the world. He's like, nah, I'm just chilling, bro. Fuck off.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's
Maybe.
a storyline where Cain might have just been pissed at Malkav and just cursed him specifically. He's just like, he won't shut the fuck up.
He was a seer beforehand. You gave him vampire powers. Of course he's going to be like, check it out every 10 minutes.
Then did a very Old Testament, like, what if I made your favorite trait the worst thing?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh god, why are we like this? Might have been cursed by Lilith as a way to get back at Cain.
Oh.
'Cause there's-
So he was like Cain's favorite, and Lilith was like, I'm going to kick
Well-
your sand pile.
Because, well, it's not necessarily even Malkav was the favorite. It's just Malkav was kind of the most chill one. So it was easiest for her to kind of, after school special, stroll up to him and then whisper some sort of arcane truth that was so powerful she didn't even tell Cain. And it was powerful enough that it broke his brain.
Cool.
Because, you know, when Goth Mommy tells you the truth, apparently it's very serious.
I mean,
That's fine.
That's fine. I love everyone universally agrees that Lilith is hot as fuck and it's okay if she steps on you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I would
universally.
probably die, but I think it would probably be worth it.
It'd be worth. All
Yeah.
right, bet.
Yeah.
So this is getting back to the thing with all of the second gen. So Malkav is also documented to have possibly consumed a lot of vitae of the second gens.
Yeah.
So during his embrace, or like...
After.
Nah, when they did the overthrow, because
Yeah.
Well, no, not during the overthrow. Before that.
Oh, like he was being bloodbound to them, kind of.
Bloodbound, or doing like a cheeky experiment of like, hey, so your blood's really powerful. If I have a fuckload of that, I might be able to like see shit.
I want to see. I've seen far. I want to see further.
Yeah.
And also, I think there's also the theory that when the overthrow did happen, he was just like, no, I'm gonna eat a little bit of all of them. Like it said that he ate the most while others were lapping blood off the ground.
Yeah.
Like he pretty much was just going in on it.
Oh
He
my
went
God,
in.
Malkav's Pac-Man.
He was doing a Badlands chugs while everyone else was having like a shot.
Yeah, and there's also the so Malkav might have made a deal with a djinn, and the deal was he's gonna let the spirit ride his body in exchange for like being able to see into the spiritual realm and things beyond sight. And
Right.
Jinn was like, "All right, bet I would like to be in a body," and it went bad, and it broke both of their brains. And they kind of fused together, and that's why the cobweb's a thing.
Huh. Okay.
That's kind of the more Arab leaning ideas of like, why are the Malkavians like this?
That's kind of cool.
Well,
Yeah.
They had madness, and then they had a conduit.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, no, he's a learned man and a scholar, and is trying to make like a cheeky fae deal with this Jinn desert spirit, and it went poorly.
Well, first of all, never make a deal with a djinn.
Yeah, it's gonna
That's
go poorly.
rule number one.
You're gonna end up actually fucking yourself.
Literally.
Yeah,
Literally.
watch Wishmaster.
Wishmaster 2.
Yeah, Wishmaster.
Any of them, yeah.
No. Two's probably the best one to see how things can go terribly wrong, because that's the one that starts with the thief just being like, "I wish I was never born." He's just like, "Wish granted," and you just watch this man just slowly fucking de-age into a fucking fetus and just, boop. And then the main character comes in and is like, "I don't remember having a boyfriend."
That's great.
Yeah, no, the first two fucking solid. Then after that, it's just kind of a
Silly.
I don't know, I like the one that takes place in prison.
There's a...
I think that is two.
Oh, I thought that was 3.
no. That 3 is like all prison. There's just part of a prison in the second one.
Oh yeah, because 3 has the one where the dude grants the wish to have the warden go fuck himself.
Yes.
And he does.
There was a Goosebumps like this, too.
Oh hell yeah! So yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
a lot of Malkav's origins, especially in their madness and embrace, seem to be a lot of the audacity of like, I'm gonna do this thing.
How dare!
Oh no, there's consequences. Fuck.
Why do we always have to come back to consequences, guys?
I know, right?
That's it might as well be called Vampire the Consequences.
That's literally this game. It's be gay, flirt with your friends. Here are some consequences.
You flirted with your friends too hard.
Yeah, it's great. So one of my favorite little parables about Malkav from the ancient times is the tale of three brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So Malkav has a special interest in the mind and perception. His bro Set had an interest in the spirit and spirituality. The two got into a debate, as bros tend to do. And Malkav believed that truth is objective and observable, and you can find ultimate truth if you just kind of like look hard enough. And Set believed that truth is personal and experienced within the soul, and you get to it through suffering and despair, which if you understand the Setites and ministry lore, you're just like, this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's into corruption, because he's trying to get to spiritual truth.
I feel like Set and Shalim are like would-be buddies.
Kind of bros.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll get into that if you guys vote for that fucking clan. Anyways.
It'll be a while. We're doing the basics first.
The ministry's in the 13.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, the ministry isn't.
So is the Slubri.
You're right.
Yeah.
The Salubri, the Banu Hakim.
Yeah. We got a lot on the roster.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Yeah. So the two bros could not make a resolution, so they decided to go talk to Saulat. Because they're like, hey, you're a smart guy, you're good at things, help us figure this shit out. And his response was, I fucking can't make that decision, so I'm gonna go on a road trip quest to go achieve enlightenment and figure out if I can solve how you get to ultimate truth.
In the East.
Yeah.
And that's why he was all like,
I'm
gonna go
east.
grow a third eye.
That eventually happens. That's kind of what ties into this. So before he goes, Saulat gives his sword to Set, and Set gives him a staff. So he gets a big old walking stick. Set does a tradesy for, you take my stick, Saulat, I take your sword, thank you, friend. Saulat gives Malkav his crown, and Malkav's like, shit, I didn't know we were doing gifts. So he uses his own vitae to draw a third eye on the center of Saulat's forehead, and he's like, this is to guide you on your journey. And then Saulat fucks off.
And comes
and they
back.
never see each other again.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it comes back later, and it's a real eye.
Yeah, we'll get into that on that episode.
Oh
But
god,
keep-
the Salubri
Keep
episode.
this story in mind for later on in the Malkavian history. And Malkav is supposedly one of the major instigators for the revolt of the 13 Antediluvians and the fall of the Second City. Because apparently Malkav had a vision, or had a thought, or was speaking out of turn. It's not clear what happened, but he ran his mouth, and it fucking pissed off the second gen so much they beat the tar piss out of him.
Yeah, it says it was specifically Enoch, Irad, and Zilla.
Yeah, those are the three second gens. So we have Enoch the Wise, Irad the Strong, and Zilla the Beautiful.
Yep.
One of those is his dad, mom, we don't know.
I
But
think
yeah.
it's probably the Wise. Again, there's no concrete data. It's just with the trees of like the fact that most of the second gens are pretty much just allegories for, physical, mental, and appearance traits.
Well, there's reasons for all of them, and we can all leave it up to our fan theorems. But yes, they basically beat the living unlife out of this man. And it made all the third gen Antediluvians hella pissed because they're just like, you can't beat up on the crazy brother. What the fuck?
He doesn't barely even know any better, guys.
You can't beat up on the autistic child. It's not his fault. God, we
Basically, yeah. So, this abuse, set off the third gen to attack their elders and thus brought about the fall of the second city.
Womp womp.
Whamp whamp.
Maybe don't beat up on the kid.
Yeah, maybe don't beat up on people that are having issues.
Yeah.
Maybe they just listen to too much of the Ramones.
Maybe. Beat on a brat with a baseball bat. Yep. On here. Yeah. So now the fun question is Malkav alive or is they dead?
Is it live or is it dead now? Bum, 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 bum.
The answer is either no.
Or yes?
Malkav, while they were traveling from Enoch to Petra, which is a real city, he was torn apart.
Yup.
We have no idea who did this, but those childer that were traveling with him drank enough of his vitae that was left that they basically were able to maintain the clan and continue on into these nights.
Huh.
That story also says they consumed his flesh too.
Regardless.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, that was the weird parable in the Gehenna book that they were like, no, they consumed him whole. They literally were just like, oh no, they did a murder. And they just went, his childer just like were called back and just went, hey dad.
Yeah, it's a little Jesus allegory.
That would explain the web there.
Yeah,
if he's just literally a bit of him is inside of every mount.
Yeah.
That's that was literally the. This is the one that's from the Gehenna book, because it's said in that one that this might be what happened. Only thing that they were like, we agree on this, is they're like, the second city fell and he just went.
Yeah. That one I actually did not pull from the Gehenna book. That one is from the Malkav Revised. The thing you're referring to, I will get to.
Oh, sorry. I thought this.
No, you're good. So the options are no, he is fucking dead and exists only like power-wise through the clan as a kind of like mass diablerie kind of thing. Then there's the answer of yeah, he's alive, but he's in torpor somewhere in the Valley of Hinnom, which is like in the Jerusalem area. Could be literally underneath Jerusalem or Petra. We don't know. There's a Sabbat rumor that if Malkav were to wake up from this place, they would utilize the cobweb to draw all of the Malkavians in and just fucking eat them.
Damn.
So that's part of the reason why the Sabbat in that area have been like, no, we gotta get in there. And there might also be some impetus for why the Crusades kept happening in this alternate reality where vampires are like, oh shit, if Malkav's in there, we gotta go get him.
We gotta get there.
Yeah, we gotta
get him.
Yeah, because that's honestly the less scary thing he could do. Because if he woke up and they're all their minds connected, it's just like, all right, he is just every Malkavian now. That's just as terrifying.
He ate everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, would it be possible? Because like we talked about how Malkavians, we weren't sure if they are a portent of madness, like they are here to show that like things are about to go down, or if it follows them.
Yeah.
Be kind of nuts if it was like his mind touches all the Malkavians and it just kind of like, I don't know, EMP grenades craziness. Like,
because they've.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because we've already talked about the fact that the more Malkavs that are in one area, they become signal boosters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens, and if he is alive but in torpor, there is precedent for if you're powerful enough, you could still be in torpor and mentally, like, manipulate lower gen characters. And there is some musings by Beckett in Beckett's Jihad Diary about this possibility being a thing, and that's why there's so much like religious turmoil in the area, which I'm like, is for story an interesting thought, but I feel like it also just downplays the responsibility that people have about like their own moral choices in regards to religion, and I'm just like, that's kind of gross and weird, maybe don't.
I was about to say to yes and both Hunter's and Skipper's idea, because this is from Chronicles, doesn't matter, but it would be an interesting concept that would be fucking frightening for a Gehenna plot. Yeah, if Malkav wakes up, turns on all the Malkavians. In Chronicles, Malkavians don't exist. It's a disease.
Everything's a disease in Chronicles.
No. I just mean...
Chronicles is like, they're sick! They're just sick! It'll spread to everyone.
That's what I'm saying. If he wakes up, turns on the signal booster, it's like, oh, are you in range of the Malkavians? Hi, you're now connected to the Madness Network. It'd be like, that'd be frightening.
Well,
that's kind of what I was talking about.
That can already kind of happen. I mean,
that's
demontation in
is.
like earlier editions, you could have like AoE demontation. I'm pretty sure.
That was a big part of demontation in Old World, was that you could, by your mere presence, affect the sanity of people around you, just because your aura just emanates not wellness. Which I'm like, that's got some implications narratively that I don't fucking like, but you know.
Again, it's one of those ones where I feel like you kind of have to lean into that. What they're saying is real, and it's just fourth dimensional or whatever, where it's like, he's emanating so much truth that it makes people nervous to be around it. Like a Lovecraft book, and less like, chronic depression.
I was about to say, yet again, feels like that storyline would be the In the Mouth of Madness from fucking...
Yeah, or God damn it, the fucking Lovecraft movie with the radio station.
Oh,
Pontypool.
Pontypool, yeah. It's like, if it's treated like Pontypool, where it's like, oh no, it's like an ultrasound, or, fucking...
It's like a disease of language, is how they
disease of
describe
language,
it.
Or infrasound,
Yeah.
You have, like, low resonance sounds happening around you, you just feel really uneasy, but it's so low, you can't hear it, so you're just like, I don't know why I feel spooky and creepy, but I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and also adding to the Sabbat theories about Malkav, some of them will go through periods where they'll just embrace a fuckload of Malkavians because they think that if Malkav is in torpor but alive, the more Malkavians you make, the less control he has because he's like spread so thin. So they think if they make enough Malkavians, they're like, if we make enough babies, he's gonna be too busy and we could get him.
It's the old adage of how many toddlers could you fight before they were able to take you down.
Basically, yeah, they're trying to like Lucille Ball candy conveyor belt him and then kick his ass. And it's just like, fuck, I have too many chocolates. Like,
and then they're like, yeah, and the chocolates fight back.
or we'll just eat them. Like, because the Sabat loves a diablerie.
Oh, yeah.
Which again,
Good old time.
see that Red Star episode.
Yeah.
Eating vampire, bad time.
Bad times. And there's also the option of they could be both dead and alive. It's a little Schrodinger's vampire.
Yep.
Where Malkav is literally the sentient cobweb.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're both alive and dead at the same time. We can't observe you, so who the fuck knows?
Mm-hmm.
And whether he did this to avoid final death in the desert when his body got torn asunder, or if this was his attempt to ascend to a higher plane and then just kind of got stuck as the brain connection for his entire clan, we don't know.
So what you're telling me is we don't know the answer to the question we asked. Okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as
Useful.
as I said, Old World's answer was just like he didn't survive the fall of the second city, and that's just like everything else is up to interpretation.
Yeah.
That's
The only hard facts we have is he did exist. When he was embraced, something fucky happened and his brain went sideways, and now he's not here.
At least as far as he just lives in the cobweb and that's all that's left of him. Thought it is kind of hinted in some of the books that like his children didn't have as much mental illness or weren't as mentally ill until he died or transcended, and then it just like spread through them all. So that would make sense if it was just like they were just like seers, but they're otherwise kind of all there, and then he became a part of all of their brains, and that's when it kicked in.
Right.
yeah, because and in the Gehenna book, it says that again, in the theoretical event of his consumption, it wasn't all of his children that came back. It was a lot of them, and they came back, and it did do what you said. It literally went like they got a little madder, and then as they spread out through the community, it just made it worse for everybody else.
Consequences.
It's what happens when you
Commit a big-ass diablerie?
well consume your dad.
Yeah, I just, we all secretly desire.
Listeners, everybody who's listening to this podcast right now, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Don't eat your dad.
Yeah, if anything I've learned from World of Darkness, it's
don't
eat your father.
Yeah,
I'll take that off my bucket list, I guess.
I don't have the ability to consume biological matter, but I understand the concept of seasoning. I don't care what he's got on him. Don't eat your dad.
I don't care how spicy he is.
Yeah.
So in ancient times, the Malkavian leaders, like the Methuselahs and elders, banded together because they're just like, oh shit, we don't have a dad. We're the only team that doesn't have a dad. We gotta collect the chickadees and be like, okay, who can do what? And this actually worked really well for them because, they had a stronger bond and network and community and all that kind of stuff. And that tradition kind of has continued on into these nights.
It's weird how, the lone wolf does not last, but the community, it'll last.
Hell yeah.
I don't think we've gotten into this yet, but I think it's because we haven't done the Nosferatu episode. It's their community almost rivals that of Nosferatu. Because I think technically the Nosferatu have a little more us against everyone, where they'll...
Well, yeah, they're we are literally cousins.
Yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
But Malkavs are almost as close to that, where they're just for it.
I do have to make an amendment to my statement.
Yes.
That statement does not apply to La Sombra.
Yeah.
Because they're the lone wolf that actually can kind of do it.
Kinda.
That's because they have PTSD and paranoia, and they're
Right,
ready
yeah.
to fight God at any fucking moment.
They're like, God's around the corner, let's fucking go.
Are a very cool clan, but I'm also here for La Sombra slander because it amuses me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm petty. So,
Yeah,
moving along. During ancient times, the Malkavians thrived basically as oracles and quote-unquote gods. So it wasn't uncommon back in ancient times during the pagan days to have city-states and therefore city gods. So some Malkavians would sneakily just walk into a city and then put on a hat and be like, I'm God now. And...
Are you going to stop me?
Yeah, particularly in Greece was their favorite place to do this. The references we had to Dionysus earlier. There was a Malkavian that just was Dionysus.
I knew it.
Which, if you understand the mythos for Dionysus, makes sense because not only is he the party god and wine daddy, a lot of their aspects about chaos does lean into this almost Cthulhian madness, primal energy thing, and you're just oh yeah, no vibes.
Yep.
Yeah, Cthulhian madness, very sensual while also being non-binary, and I love because I can definitely see a Malkavian using the weirdest form of Dionysus's birth in, yes, I was birthed from Zeus's thigh. What? Yep. I can't.
Crawled on out.
I fucking just popped out of his thigh. You mean he didn't rape somebody? Nope. I came out of him. I'm like, that is the
Me and Athena.
Yep.
We're like this.
Yeah, she's a brainchild, and I am a thigh child. That's why I'm thick.
Is Zeus a sponge?
Kinda.
Was he just budding? Is what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Sometimes, then other times he was a goose made of rape.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you see how sponges breed, it's very much there's just like jizz everywhere. I'd be like, I mean, that probably
That
tracks.
also vibes for Zeus, just jizz everywhere. Yeah, so as time proceeded in ancient times, there was a fairly strong alliance between the Ventru and the Malkavians as Rome rose.
I could see the Ventru being like, oh, well, you do give good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like that's entirely kind of the crux of it. So this time period was seen as a high time, like golden age for the Malkavians, and when they were actually considered a high clan.
Yep.
The Prince Camilla of Rome relied heavily on Malkavian advisors, but he actually like treated them well, where he's like, okay, cool. You have insight that is actually really helpful and good and useful for the community. I see your value, and I'm going to pay respects. Make sure you got, like, land and fucking bitches and money and, you know, all that shit. Where he's like, no, we're homies. I take care of my homies. I wish more Venture would fucking do that.
Yeah.
These days, a lot of them don't.
Well, I mean, B-Dave did a good job for
No,
that.
B-Dave did a great job, but there's just a lot of Venture players that are just like, fuck bitches, get paid.
Fuck everybody else. I'm going to get my bag.
Yeah. But yeah, during not the Phoenician Wars. Anyways, yeah. So as Rome was chilling and doing great, Carthage started becoming a thing. That old chestnut. Mm-hmm. And there's rumors of like, oh man, fucking the Banu Hakim and the Bruja are making a city that's gonna rival Rome, and they're like hanging out with mortals and being open about shit, and I think they're doing devil shit. I don't know. It sounds spooky over there. I don't know, should we fight it? So Camilla sought the advice Tryphosia, the Malkavian seer, to be like, hey, so what should I do about this city? And it's unknown if she had a real vision or if she was just like doing some politics.
Oh.
But her suggestion was to crush Carthage.
What if it was a prank?
It might have been a prank.
That sounds like a Malkavian.
She's
prank.
like, I want to see if you'll do it.
Yeah.
Again, the thing that always scares me about the pranks is just like, it is literally prank channels from YouTube. It's a prank, bro. I'm like, it's assault.
Well, it's one of those, in this case, it might have been the prank could be Camilla's getting too big for his toga. Mm-hmm. So maybe if we get into a war where he has to have an actual rival and like test his mettle, maybe he'll be humbled.
Right.
That might have been the thought.
Or had a vision and knew he wouldn't succeed and was like, that'll knock him down a peg.
Yeah. Or had a vision and was like, oh, well, if he doesn't do this, it's going to be even worse.
Right.
Yeah, bro, go do it. And then he leaves and she's like, oh, he's going to get his ass kicked. Oh, fuck. But yeah, so Camilla of Rome leads a successful siege of the city along with Prince Alclaeus of Syracuse, which is basically Sicily. Prince Alclaeus is a Malkavian.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, so just him and his bros were like, yeah, we're going to go to North Africa and do basically a genocide.
You know, as you do.
As you do, just a little genocide, you know,
Just
for
a
funsies.
light genociding.
Yeah.
Now, the kind of dark note about this outside of the genocide is something within Carthage was really fucked up, and it completely consumed an entire bloodline of the Malkavians. Mm-hmm. The Malkavians do not talk about this. They just don't go to North Africa. They're just like, no. So that's, if you're in that region of the world, there's just not a lot of Malkavians, or if any. They're just like, bad vibes.
Don't want to do that.
I believe it's hinted at, I could be misremembering this, but I believe in Revised it talks about the elder Malkavian who's kind of teaching the younger one in that book is like, I have reached out to on the cobweb or on the weave to try and see what happened, and there's nothing but pain and blackness there.
So we just don't go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just don't go there.
Yeah, there is some hintings about Bali activity, which does ape some of the concerns from ancient texts about people in Carthage doing like human sacrifice and all sorts of stuff, but that also gets into venture propaganda. It's a whole thing. And I am not up on my archaeological knowledge of Carthage at the moment, so we're gonna chug on along.
Boop up.
Boop, 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 boop.
Burp.
After several centuries, Rome falls, as it does. much of the madness of the emperors of Rome was blamed on the Malkavians being in seats of power. They're just like, hey, these guys are crazy. People around them seem to go a little cattywampus if they're around. Maybe we shouldn't have fucking Malkavians in seats of power.
Yeah, again, as Game of Thrones teaches us. Or maybe it was the fact that the vampires are hundreds of years old and have been here this whole time, and it's just the rampant incest catching up to them.
That
maybe.
and all the lead.
Yeah. That's
There's
it.
quite a bit of lead.
There was a lot of lead.
I mean, if we're going Game of Thrones, the Malkavians would probably be like Patchface.
Well, no. I'm saying, like, what Game of Thrones has taught us, which is like, oh, what's the worst part of this? Stop fucking your cousins and your sisters over and over again and diversify the family line just a little
It's
bit.
like, if you have to do it now and again for, like, survival reasons, fine, but, like...
When it's your go-to?
When it's your go-to?
Get some new shit in there quick.
She's just like, man, we love it when they have white hair. We just gotta keep that shit going.
Just date a blonde. It'll be fine.
No, it's gotta be white.
Don't ever say that line ever again.
Yeah.
I love and respect you. Please never say that again.
It's okay.
Now we're going to medieval times.
Medieval times.
You know, I've always wanted to go. The jousting part seems cool, and you get to eat a whole turkey leg.
Hell yeah.
Actually, yeah.
I-
You can get a turkey leg at the state fair, though, and that's almost the same as medieval times.
Yeah, but I don't have to worry about rednecks trying to call me a slur at medieval times, I feel.
This is true.
As somebody who has not experienced the food of medieval times, but the experience of medieval times, worth.
We should do a podcast road trip to medieval times.
Yes,
If we do-
fucking should.
If we,
We
do
should do a
Dark
podcast-
Ages,
Dark Ages episode for research purposes, we're going to go to medieval times.
Yes.
Yeah, we just record we record the intro at fucking medieval times. Yeah, just like
This, friends, is how you have a vacation dinner trip as a tax write-off.
yes.
Yeah. So the medieval
We should
times,
also go to Ren Fair together, just saying.
Oh hell yeah! I love me a
Fuck
Ren
yes.
Fair. I'm built like a tavern wench. It's my environment.
Exactly.
But yeah, medieval times. This was not the best of times,
Nor
or
was it the worst of times.
No, it was
Yeah.
not. But this is the start where the Malkavians slide from being a high clan to a low clan. So they go from being respected advisors to jesters.
Yeah.
Just a silly man in a hat with some dingle bells.
Yeah, they're just like, I love the thought that one, it's a prank, but two, they know that fucking Malkavians are sneaky, and they're like, we gotta put fucking shitloads of bells on those little bastards.
They got it makes obfuscate harder if every time you take a step you go ching ching. It's like putting a bell on your cat.
Yep.
Yup. Yeah, I know. It's why we put bells on you, because somebody put too much WD-40 on James's servos, and he's too fucking quiet.
Yeah. That's the reason why I got the key ring on there, because I'm tired of them being like, you snuck up on me. And I'm like, no,
I just walked.
just adjust your ears, flesh bags.
Yes, but
I keep telling him to stand out in the rain. Hopefully it'll get rusty.
there we go.
Violates my warranty so bad. I've seen Wizard of Oz.
As with many things in European history, as the rise of Christianity happens, the quality of life for people in marginalized communities gets worse.
Weird.
Yeah, weird how that works.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, strange. But yeah, the unfortunate strangeness of behavior within the clan, as well as their gifts of visions, were seen as not good by the church, and then people that are being embraced that grew up in a church environment. So the
Yeah.
clan suffered a lot of losses during this time.
Yeah.
Because, there's like, oh, you're a witch, and just like, I'm just Cheryl.
Just Cheryl.
Cheryl, we don't like the fact that you have a wart somewhere near and or around the area of your face.
It's like, I can't help that. I keep cutting it off, and then it grows back the next night. I fucking hate it.
It
'cause it's
grows
Satan.
back? That sounds like witchery.
No.
I can't cut off my finger and it grows back.
Look, the mages are over there. Anyways, this clan, the Malkavians, were oddly quiet during the Omen Wars. For those who don't know or don't remember, the Omen Wars were the conflict that the Zamitzi and the Gangrel got into with the early Tremere. Because the Tremere were like, hey, we're wizards and we want to get immortality. This vampire shit seems neat. What if we just did a bunch of war crimes? And we oopsed ourselves into being a vampire clan.
Yep.
Oopsed or got exactly what they wanted. They're like, ooh,
Yeah.
Salad, come here, buddy.
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing. So Tremere nom noms Saulat to become an antediluvian himself, or a clan founder, and the Malkavians are all just kind of course there's going to be some outliers, but the clan overall is just kind of chill with it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
weird.
this is what's gonna happen. It's fine. I think that's also because, again, it's There is no official answer, but again, it's probably Salat wins in the future.
Yeah.
He's like, it's fine. Bro will be cool. Let's just sit back and eat popcorn.
Yeah, because there's the options of some of the Malkavians being like, oh, okay, yeah, no, we saw some visions in the future where, like, Salat wins and he wins, whatever the fuck that means.
No.
So, like, this is what he wants. Like, this is what Brother Salat wants. So, like, this is cool. It's vibes. And then there's other ones that are like, well, actually, the Tremere have a lot of moxie, and we appreciate their academics. So, like, you know, if somebody were to take over for Salat, this seems appropriate. They can take over the business.
That may be a little bit of a parallel too, if the like them consuming their ancestor is because they're like, oh, you're consuming another ancestor? Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need an actual antediluvian. Fuck it, let's see what happens. Oh shit, they got magic.
Neat.
Yeah, just sitting there somehow eating ye olde popcorn. Just being like, I wonder if he can do it. Oh shit, he did do it. Well,
yeah, just one Malkavian in the back. Do a flip.
Yeah, so there's some historical precedent for Malkavians being weirdly chill with the Tremere, where they're just kind of like, no, you're still trying to get that answer for us, so like keep working.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we want to know about truth, and you all are fucking nerds, so like chop chop.
Keep it going.
And then during the Convention of Thorns is when you get an interesting split within the clan. So the Malkavians were kind of split between the Anarch Revolt and the Elders pretty evenly, so there was no real consensus on that during the War of Princes. And then we get to the actual convention where you had the separation of Umanda and Vansanesta. I did not say that right.
Vasatanessa?
Vasantasina.
Yes.
Vasantasina.
I feel bad because I literally worked really hard last night to be able to say this correctly, but I've slept.
Yeah, well.
So it's gone now. I'll get it back. It's fine. So these two are Malkavians from India that traveled across the world doing teaching people things about like blood bonds are bad and, you know, live your life, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
It's very Hindu Brahmin kind of vibes. These two leaders get to the convention and they have a disagreement on what should happen. So Vasantasina. Sorry, there we go. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Vasantasina sided with the Sabbat. She finds the practice of blood bonding to be abhorrent and dangerous. During the convention, when the Banu Hakim are cursed by the Tremere, she finds that to be fucking disgusting, and she marches out of the convention on that. She's just like, this is gross. I can't believe you all would do that. Fucking bye.
I don't disagree. You know,
like that shit's fucked.
I understand. I've read ahead and I hear what Umanda has to say, but I'm like, I'm sorry, she's right. Why you booing?
I find it funny that she sided with the Sabbat and finding blood bonding abhorrent and dangerous.
We'll
and
get
then
to that.
The Sabbat.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. That note cycles back around.
Okay, all right.
So, Umada, her sire, sided with Cambria because he had visions of fiery genocide if the clans were not able to unite. Now, was it the First Inquisition or the Second Inquisition? We don't know. One of them. Mm-hmm. But it seems to be a thing where the Malkavians are like, no, if we don't unite and work together, we're all fucked. And then people don't listen, and then shit gets fucked.
Yeah, as if maybe this Convention of Thorns could have been a better time if they would have actually sat there longer and were like, no, let's hear everybody's shit out.
Yeah, and then you have the new Anarch Revolt in modern times where the Bruja and the Gangrel march out, and then the Justicar for the Malkavians is like, hey, so there's supposed to be 7 pillars, there's 5 now. I don't like this. No, this is bad.
Bad numbers.
Bad numbers,
vibes.
bad vibes. Mm-mm.
And I actually, this is kind of my personal, like, theory, but I don't know if the clan ever really split. It seems like they kind of just, we pick every team, and just, like, a group of them went everywhere, but it also talks about how, like, because of who they are and what they do, the Malkavians are always kind of chill with each other. Like, even if you're, like, a dyed-in-the-wool, like, Camarilla guy and you run across, like, a Sabbat Malkavian, they might just vibe anyway because they share part of their brain. Then they'll be like, listen, like, fraternity over anything else.
It's kind of like the telepathy ability in all D&D where it's like, yeah, I know you forgot speech and you only do clickies now, but we have the Madness Network and it'll translate to be like, oh no, we can vibe.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, when I say split, it's not like an actual divide. It's so much as kind of like hemispheres of the brain where you got left brain, right brain. That's kind of like they're still connected, they still work together, but there's definitely 2 fucking halves.
Yeah, there's a divide in like ideologies.
Well, in the lore, it also kind of hints at, like, everyone kind of thinks that the Malkavians helped them. Yeah. Like, the Camarilla definitely thinks, oh, they sided with us. The Sabbat are like, they really sided with us. And then the Anarchs thought they sided with them and then got really mad.
Yeah.
But they might have actually just been helping them and they didn't realize it.
Wait,
Yeah.
an angry anarch? Go on.
Shut up.
I've never
I'm
heard
literally
of that.
right here. Anywho, but to more cement this divide, we have the Great Prank.
Ba, ba, ba.
So Udmata and a group of Malkavian Methuselahs went to the woods outside of, oh god, this is a Czech word and I'm sorry.
Dummeslice.
Dummschleiss. It's got a little tick over the Z.
No.
I didn't take the time to study this one. I'm sorry.
I think Hunter might be right.
Yeah, Dummschleiss. So it's a town that is now in the Czech Republic. This call pulled all of the Camarilla Malkavians to do a pilgrimage to this place, and then they did some sort of ritual that made them all lose the ability to use demontation, forget they had it, and they are just like, you have dominate now. And they're like, okay, thanks.
Huh.
Yeah.
This is probably the update from V5 where they're like, maybe we should not do a crazy power.
Well, it gets kind of resolved in later old world. We'll get to that, but
Oh, yeah, because I know what you're
but
talking
yeah,
about.
so everybody who played V5 and they're like, why is demontation a amalgam within dominate? This is why.
Huh.
This is the lore why. But yeah, so those who were affected had no idea they had demontation, and they're just like, I have dominate now. Okay, cool, bye. And then Umada hasn't been seen since. He's just,
Oh, another person that might be absorbed into the Madness Network.
yeah. He might have been sacrificed for the prank, or he just like did the, all right, I've died my shit, and I know everything's gonna be fucked here, and he just like went back to India. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, like
He's just hanging out.
I mentioned it in the last episode, but there aren't consistent leadership pretty much ever with the Malkavians. They kind of pop up and every Malkavian knows, oh, I'm going to listen to this guy right now. And then they do the thing that they were supposed to do or wanted to do. And then they kind of just float off again.
Actually, scariest concept, because again, they're all connected with the Madness Network. And unless I can get some confirmed reports from other observers, I'm like, what if all the leaders are whatever the fuck the Madness Network is, and it just fucking pops a representative, and it's like, you can see this, and then it just doop.
Yeah, or it basically leadership of the Malkavians just become like avatars of Malkov for
Yeah.
like a little bit, and then they fuck off.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, that was weird.
Anyway, I'm gonna
I'm
go
done
back
with-
and finish that sandwich I was working on.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. I'm done with that figurehead.
Ah, damn, they fucked up my puzzle.
Yeah.
Kind of like the
I'll start over.
Mass of Azazoth, isn't it? Where he's got like thousands of different like avatars.
No, Nyarlathotep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nyarlathotep,
yeah.
you're
Yeah, I was
right.
about to say,
Mass of Nyarlathotep.
I was about to say,
He's the great sleeper.
Yeah, Azathoth is the great sleeper, and if he wakes up, we all die.
We stop existing.
Yeah. We
The
all
ultimate
everything.
death.
Yeah.
Everything stops existing because reality is just his dream.
Yeah, so as we travel,
their dream.
Yeah, so as we travel through narrative time, with the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, and whatnot, basically as science and reason begin to grow and flourish, so does the clan. So they go from like super low clan, just like just
High clan.
peasants and just witchy, gross people and jesters and stuff, to just like, oh hey, you got some smart academics in your group. We respect and like that. Please explain to me a science. As science goes good over time, Malkavians and the Camarilla do better, which is good. They get some status. They don't really get leadership positions, but they're doing better. And the Malkavians that are in the Camarilla tend to be much more stable. You're good. Yeah, the Camarilla Malkavians tend to be much more stable than their Sabbat cousins. It might be due to the lack of demontation. So yes, and being integrated into society.
And also just being in the Sabbat.
Yeah, being in the Sabbat will fuck you up.
Yeah.
The Malkavians do follow the trail of colonialism. Yay! Mostly because they're kind of like, oh, new places. I want to go look. But they tend to follow after things have been settled. They're usually not to be like, I'm going to go be a frontiers guy.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, they're just like, no.
Kind of like we talked about. They are city folk through and through.
They're just like, look, I need to know there's a Dunkin' Donuts, otherwise I'm not fucking with it. That's kind of their...
I need to see a CVS or I don't feel safe.
Yeah. A lot of Malkavians were drawn during the revolutions of the Enlightenment and the Romantic eras, especially around the hysteria of the French Revolution. Goddamn Robespierre and the Reign of Terror and all that, and the Malkavians are just like, oh, everybody's super paranoid and like chopping heads and shit. Sick.
Let's go.
Let's check
Let's
it out.
go. Vive la revolution.
Yet again, more. Let's just sit in the back and eat popcorn.
Yeah, or just like getting in on it because
Yeah.
they're just like, yeah, just...
This is rife for pranks.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get everybody.
Unjust rulers that we can overthrow and take their heads off? Good.
Yes. So, that was a fun time. And as we go on into the 1800s and the rise of understanding the mental illness and the mind, Malkavians kind of hit an interesting like note of respect and disrespect at the same time, where there's some Malkavians are like, oh yeah, no, you're a learned man and scholar who understands the mind. You can continue on the science and do respect. And then there was a bunch that were also like, very not well and may or may not have been stuck in the asylum systems or just left to be on the street like muttering to themselves and not tended to, and added to the belief that the Malkavians are not to be trusted with responsibilities because he can't even put on shoes, his stockings are a mess. Look at this vagabond.
Yeah, as you put in the notes, it's just muttering about Gehenna potentially that early on, just being like
yeah, just bad things are happening.
Vibrating.
Speaking of bad things and vibrations, the World Wars.
Yeah, that's some bad vibes.
These are bad vibes. The Malkavians did not do well during the First World War and the Depression that came afterwards. Shockingly, if you throw enough bombs where people start getting mental illnesses, that's not great. Mm-hmm. War is bad, kids.
Yep.
So, and economic depression and all sorts of stuff, not a good time. It was very sad reading this chunk of the book because the guy who's describing it lived through this time period. He's just like, oh no, these were dark nights. No, this is bad.
Didn't like the first one. It was very sad.
Yeah, we get to the Second World War, and according to Revised, Malkavians could sense the death and suffering caused by the war, and particularly the Holocaust, through the cobweb. All of the mass death events were just being psychically resonated and picked up by them, and there was a mass exodus of Malkavians from Germany. So we got our first clan that didn't actively engage in war crimes, guys. Yay!
Again, there's always
Which is
probably
why they're the buddies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was about to say, again, there are always probably outliers, but it is nice to be like, we've got one that isn't like, sure, it's okay.
Oh, look, it's a snack pack that can't leave.
Yeah.
I gotta read this quote because it's pretty fucking intense.
It is.
But the Malkavians' view on World War II was just that madness pooled there, but only the strongest could walk amongst the monsters already gathered, the human monsters, and survive.
Yeah, guys, welcome to World of Darkness, where some of the human characters are more fucked up than the vampires.
Yeah.
And they readily go, oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much the reflection on the good part of the game, to be like, are you really the fucking monster? Again, Second Inquisition. I don't know if the vampires are the monsters anymore.
It depends, but it also gets into some interesting allegory switches of the symbolism of vampires over time. I have a whole essay about that I need to re-record and put onto the internet because I feel like people would like it.
Yeah.
But anywho.
Also, unlike real life, you have to debate that in World of Darkness, the soul and God and all that are pretty much proven to exist, at least from a DM lore knowledge side of things. So,
Yeah,
there is some form of a deity, and there's definitely souls.
is that deity good? We can have that discussion later.
Maybe it's just a machine.
Oh, God.
Let us
machine
not
again.
speak of Chronicles.
Yes.
I know I started it.
This is your fault.
All right.
Are you
As
saying I'm the
we
God machine?
escape the horrors of World War II into the horrors of the Cold War and, capitalism and late stage military industrial complexes, the backswing against mental health treatments, halfway houses, work release programs, and general welfare programs, particularly Reaganomics, pushes the mentally ill, the houseless, the addicted onto the streets, and this pushes a whole bunch of new pressures onto the Malkavians, because a lot of them that were had havens in these institutions just don't have they're just getting kicked out of their houses essentially.
Yeah.
A lot of the support networks that they would have had internally amongst themselves, as well as whatever herds they might have built amongst these communities, also is just shunted. And
Bad times.
yeah, since, and this is a personal note, since vampire society tends to be a reflection of what the mortals are doing, if the unwell, quote unquote, lack structure and support amongst the mortals, so too do the Malkavians. So if I would say kind of how well the Malkavians are doing generally in your setting should be kind of a reflection to how well the society and the city you're in tends to treat the mentally unwell or addicts or the disabled.
Yeah.
yeah, and I would actually recommend, if you're interested in that kind of history, and how it's been portrayed in media and how things are now and that sort of thing, I would definitely recommend a video called The History of Insane Asylums and Horror Movies by In Praise of Shadows.
Yes.
It's about 2 hours long, but it goes deep into the history of mental asylums and how media has affected them and changed how people think about them. It's really, really good.
Super fucking good.
Yeah. Are we saying that there's a potentiality that demonizing asylums back in the 70s and 80s may have led to a change in the way that we treat mental illness? Maybe.
Yeah, well, the asylum system wasn't good because there was a lot of neglect and mistreatment within those, and also just the horrors of the lack of actual understanding of mental and physical disabilities. Did contribute to the, like, oh, she's got a SAD, well, maybe we should do a water enema about it repeatedly. And I'm just like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
He talks about that, and there's some documentaries, exposés. There's one that's still, like, basically illegal to show in the US that came out around that time because it was so fucked up.
Wow.
And I am not, like, making excuses for, like, Reagan or anything like that, but, like, he did kind of solve a problem just with the worst possible solution. Yeah. But literally, like, in the way the pop culture at the time saw it is, like, we have basically turned mental health asylums into torture dens. So he was just like, all right, get rid of them.
Yeah, and it's very... There was the documentary that Geraldo Rivera did back in the day with those mental clinics, like, back when he was based.
Yeah.
He was in the 70s and 80s, and then I don't know what the fuck happened.
Money cocaine.
Money cocaine, yeah.
He turned into a caricature.
Yeah, but... I seeing a problem like that, and I recognizing the humanity, the fucked upness, I'm like, good. Resolving the problem by cutting funding. Bad. You know, maybe taking all of the tax dollars and giving it to OPEC and Raytheon was not a good idea.
Weird.
I don't care what your astrologer says.
On a lighter note, moving on, the Great Prank snaps in 1997.
Yeah.
And demontation for all.
Yeah, I could not find a reason why this happened, but towards the more modern, quote unquote, modern times for the old world books, they're just like, yeah, so recently the Great Prank just stopped, so all the Malkavians have demontation again.
Well,
what happened to the Dominate?
No, that's the thing.
Just
Switch back?
Yeah, it's switched back. They converted Dominate dots into demontation dots. So if you point spent so much on, like, oh, I have 7 Dominate, be like, you have 7 demontation now.
Yeah.
And it's also hints, in, at least I believe in the revised book, that it's like they don't give a reason, but they say it may have only intended to be a temporary thing, and that time ran up. Or that whoever was it Umada we said who did it, and maybe they're the one who was holding that power back and they bid it. Yeah. It all floods back in. We have no idea.
Gehenna time is now. Fly, my children.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, because remember, we've said we know the time for, like, Zapathastura's death, and that was only 3 years. Oh, no, it was 4 years before the snap. So
no, actually, it happens after the snap.
Happens after so it could be a portent of...
Yeah, so the Great Prank snaps in 97, and then Week of Nightmares is in July of 1999.
Yeah, yep.
So Week of Nightmares is also bad vibes, because when Ravnos woke up and was being a dick, that caused such psychic waves across the planet that it actually affected the cobweb. So, yeah, all of your Malkavians at that time had a really, really bad vibes, because they could just feel the horror of antediluvian properly waking up and doing shit, and they're just like, oh god, oh no, dad's awake, no, demon daddy, no,
he's not even our dad, it's Uncle Dad,
it's Uncle Tiger Dad, no,
oh no, Joe Exotic, stop. But what I was gonna say was, at least my potential theory for that is because it was the people that were affected were the seers, because it was Malkavians, mortal seers, and mages. Again, with Zapathastura's chimistry and him, like, fucking with reality, like, just the rumble of something that can corrupt and change reality, just being like, oh no, the things that see past reality, oh yeah, they're gonna go, oh no, the ocean's moving.
Yeah, I'm sure there's also just like a lot of essence and glamour and everything flying around other than vampire stuff.
It was just a bad week. A week of nightmares, if you will.
It may have lasted for longer than a week.
Yeah, so that leads us up into modern nights, where there are many Malkavians that are plagued with visions of Gehenna, as if we're in it now, lads. And, you know, your Malkavians might have a little anxiety, because they're just like, oh no.
We've been talking about this for like 6 centuries. And here it is.
Here it is, we told you.
We were
I
trying to
fucking
warn
told
you.
We've been telling you.
And it even says in the revised book, it's just kind of like, it's weird being one of the last generations of Malkavians and knowing all these things we prophesized are about to happen around me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very end credits of Doctor Strangelove is kind of the best way I can explain the vibes. Which, if you haven't seen that movie, it's really fucking good and unfortunately very poignant still, and I hate that. But it's fine. Malkavians overall are clinging much tighter to the tower than they have in the past. Many of them are seeing this as kind of like the most secure port in a storm. They're just like, shit's gonna get fucked. Mm-hmm. Whether you like the tower or not, you're just like, this has the most infrastructure, and this is gonna be our best bet. We have to unite. There's 5. Why is there 5? There's supposed to be 7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's... Yeah, so... for those who are interested in major players in the Malkavians, as of now, we have Jessica Juliet Parr, who is the former sheriff of North London. She's a very posh English woman with obsessive compulsive disorder and a keen eye for detective work. So this is like a lady Sherlock Holmes kind of a person.
Hey.
Sick.
Yeah. She's also a major NPC in the Fall of London Chronicle, so I'm not gonna do any spoilers. I wanted to be like, hey, she's really cool, look into this, but I don't want to fuck that up, so you play that game.
Yeah.
That's my quick capsule review. I will say that there was a note on, because I did double check the White Wolf Wikipedia page, because sometimes that has really good links to like very obscure books, so it's worth like a double check sometimes. On that page, there is a note that Juliet Parr is transgender, female to male, but I have not read anything that identifies her identifying as a he, him. So I don't know if it's, oh God, I can't remember the name of the show. There's the show that's about the historical lady who is like, I'm a man now, and becomes like a gentry lord in 1800s Britain. I don't know if that's what they're pulling from. Everything in the book refers to her as she, her. I don't know if she's pulling an Eddie Izzard where they are trans, but they're keeping their old name just because they don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. So
question marks.
Yeah,
question marks. I don't know. You can run with that how you want in your game. I just wanted that to be noted as a trans icon.
Yeah.
Hey. And then we have Vasantasina.
Vasantasina.
Thank you.
Just remember, fat jolly man, and you can't see him.
There you go. Good job.
Yeah.
Look at you. Vasantasina is a clan leader. Despite their many years of working within the Sabbat, they had always spoken out against the Vinculum blood bonding rituals and the use of paths as opposed to like being a moral person. There's like, hey, maybe turning inwards into your beast is a bad fucking idea. And apparently she was so good at debating Sabbat elders and Nodis that she just had a lot of respect within the Sabbat, and they just kind of like let her do her own thing.
Huh.
Where they're just like, yeah, she's cool. Yeah, we don't agree with her. We think she's a fucking moron, but like, you know, she's really well spoken and takes care of people, and she does not like the tower, so bet.
Yeah. It's also really funny. I believe it talks about like other more academic Sabbat trying to like impress her or get with her, and she's always just like, oh yeah, drive them a little crazy or just fuck with them and be like, now you can go.
Yeah, just, did you learn your lesson? Okay, goodbye. Yeah, there's like there's a section in Beckett's Jihad diary where he goes to meet her, and he's describing, it's like, she's very hot and wearing very little clothing, and I want to be enjoying this, but she's also like got a bunch of needles going through her skin and while she's like meditating, and that kind of ruins it for me. So Beckett, not a kink lord.
Not a fan of Hellraiser.
Not a Hellraiser fan.
Either that or Beckett's fucked crazy before, and he's like, oh no, this is the risk reward factor's not there.
Yeah, look, Beckett's a bit of a fuckboy. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Again, supposedly seduced Cain.
Fuckboy.
Yeah, supposedly.
But yeah, so in modern nights, she has officially left the Sabbat because she's like, they went too crazy. Fuck this. So her and all of her childer and like disciples still preach about blood bonds are bad. Being a good person is good, in fact. And, you know, we should just have chill vibes and work together, bro.
Just
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you see somebody blood bonding, just fucking smack them.
Yeah, it's very like the chill parts of Hinduism that are just like, this is neat, thank you, I appreciate this. And then we have Jeanette and Therese Vorman from the Bloodlines and the LA by Nights. If I don't say them, people get pissed.
Yeah. I mean, they might as well be like the poster child for vampire in the late 2000s and early 90s.
Even now, like, especially Jeanette Vorman is kind of like, outside of Beckett, is probably one of the 2 Vampire the Masquerade NPC characters that, like, people fucking know.
Yeah, because everybody saw that cover. And, like...
you mean the hot, like, schoolgirl uniform with the smudgy goth makeup?
Yeah, the totally...
In the blood.
And the blood.
The totally not normal-looking Harley Quinn.
Yeah. She's got some Quinn vibes.
She's just like, what if we took the Jester away and we just made it gothic?
I mean, there's nothing, Skipper, it's fine if that's what you're into.
Like, I feel like that just informed my entire sexuality as a child. I saw the Vorman sisters and I was like, yes!
You saw the Vorman sisters like, well, this is my entire personality now.
Wait a second, I can get my hot goth girlfriend to also be business hot girlfriend? Fucking yes!
You mean the hot goth girl can also be business mommy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
But, yeah. So I'm not gonna get into spoilers for them. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you should go check these things out.
Yeah, and they're also hinted at being in the new Bloodlines. If that comes out eventually, they were talking about it. But
well, part of that is in the meta plot for V5 is that the sisters own separate clubs now, and they're also starting to franchise their branding out to other kindred. So if you're a good noodle,
what is the name of their club? Succubus Club.
The Asylum.
Is it the Asylum?
Yeah, it's the Asylum.
So you can, if you're a good noodle, you might be able to
franchise.
They have a lore sheet, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, they do. That's exactly what it is. I think the 5 dot is you can open up a club with their name under it.
Nice.
But again, I know we said no spoilers, so I'm going to try to vagary this. I mean, if that's how it's evolved into, that's very healthy for their relationship. That sounds like they're coming to a good terms where they can work together.
Well,
that's good. That's good.
And by work together, you mean they own separate clubs and they don't fucking talk to each other?
Well, no. That's respecting their autonomy.
Yeah, this is it's canonical that the 2 sisters fucking hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
And will actively work against each other, even to their own personal detriments.
Yep.
So that sucks. And then our favorite boy, X.
Yep.
Pineapple.
He's such a sweet boy.
Yeah. Just our confused little danger bisexual sad boy.
Yeah.
I love every time I saw him come on that show because I was like, oh, he looks like Bam Margera when he was young. He looks like a young Bam, except for just a little sweet bean.
And then, I like what they do with the character and the fact that they're able to balance some of the silliness, like with the dress pants, but also highlight just the inherent tragedy of the clan in a way where you're just like, oh, that hurts.
Yep.
I think that Annabelle learning about fucking like vampires, she's like, wow, I really like Malkavian. I think I wish I would have been a Malkavian. And he's just like, no,
yeah, he gets
no.
Like, mad at her.
Yeah, he's just like, this is fucking hell. This is hell. I live in hell.
I would rather be dead.
Yeah,
Yep.
Please kill me.
But
yep.
yeah, no, like that portrayal is great. So if you want to have a live action, this is how you do a Malkavian that is kind of silly but does not stray into fish milk. Perfect example. And that actor is now also playing a Nosferatu in New York by Night now.
I did not even recognize him.
Yeah, it's Xander.
Holy
yeah,
fuck.
right?
Yeah.
He's playing a boxy boy now.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of New York by Night yet.
Yeah,
but...
you can get that from the promos.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm just like, fuck yeah, I need to get caught up on that. So, yes.
Yeah, I'll say one more before we move to the next section that I really like, who's mentioned in both books, actually, although not as prominently, is Crazy Jane.
Crazy Jane.
So there was, I think she's one of the early iconic ones that like gets brought up a lot. She's in one of the fluff pieces in the first book, and she's in the history, and she's mentioned in the second book. But essentially, she was in a old mental asylum where the inmates were being mistreated, and they revolted, took over, and then she kind of turned it into a place of peace. And lasted a very short time, and the other vampires were like, they're conspiring, and just kind of wiped the whole asylum out. And so ever since she has like traveled the world and like babied new Malkavians who are left alone, like she comes to them.
So she's like a good way to stop caitiffs from just, abandoned Malks from becoming caitiffs. She's just like, I am your sire now.
Yeah. And a lot of the older Malkavians believe she's dead, but a lot of young neonates, they're like, no, she came and helped me. Like, she explained everything to me.
Yeah, she's chill as fuck.
And, like, it's never confirmed whether she's actually dead or if she's just appearing to new Malkavians, like, through the cobweb and being like, hey there, it's gonna be okay. I'll bring you into the family.
Was she in either of the Bloodlines games? I feel like I remember like running into like a Malkavian that was kind of like that in one of the games. I could be wrong.
I
but-
don't.
It's been ages since I played Bloodlines.
Right.
I feel like, now I could be wrong, and if I'm misremembering this, I'll cut it, but I'm pretty sure that she was the one who turned the guy on the beach.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing a quick check. I mean, since this is probably going to get cut, we're dead.
It's also a Doom Patrol character, so that's all it wants to bring me. But,
that's great.
Yeah, Crazy Jane and Doom Patrol is pretty dope.
We still
yeah, Jane Pennington. Jane Pennington is her real name, and it was 17th century where it first happened. But looks like I can't find any confirmation that she's in Bloodlines.
Okay.
She's also known as the Plague Mother, or the Plague Bride.
Yeah, there's some mentions about her. And yeah, okay, cool.
I have one last one. Again, don't know the guy's name. Goes unnamed. I always find it interesting that in the Euryses fragments, what is old world supposed right answers for Gehenna and the interpretations is always what the Malkavian's saying. Because you can interpret the philosophers that are in the book, and the unnamed Malkavian is usually pointing out the stuff that is supposedly right in old world, and he's always just like, what if it's this? What if it's this? Just like, I think he's the one that when they're like, Zapathasura will be destroyed with the power of the sun, everybody's like, oh, how are they going to use the sun versus him? And he's just like, what if the humans harness the power of the sun? And they're like, oh, crazy, this is the 15th century. There's no way they could do that. And he's just like,
the models are not that wily. That's madness, you're speaking.
I just wanted to shout out potentially unnamed Malk.
Anyway.
I also like in the I can see the clan book, but I think it's the old clan book. Anyway, there's like no info on it, but there was a named Malk just called Malk Time in the back of the book. I love that. I thought it was just like
he's fun.
weird. He's just a thing that shows up, and
Oh god, yeah.
his picture's just like a child's drawing.
I wish I remember the
Is
name
he like
of
Harlem Shuffle, the vampire?
Yes.
Kinda, yeah. Fucking, oh god, there's one Malkavian prince I really love, and I really wish I could remember his name, but he is the prince of like a little like stop town, like you're traveling across country and it's literally like a hotel, a gas station, a restaurant, like that's it. And it's Camarilla town, and he's like an old-timey western sheriff. And he's just like, look, anybody can stop here. You can only stay one night because I don't want you causing trouble. And he takes meticulous notes, and he is so thoroughly convinced that he is a bad person. Not only is he constantly taking thorough notes on his behavior, he's got this whole network of everybody else's notes, and he hires people to like stalk him to make sure he doesn't do anything fucked up, because he has spells where he just doesn't remember what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
So he's got this whole chain of network of people spying on him, and then having spies spying on the spies, and all of this, it's fucking bananas. And because he's convinced that he's secretly fucked up because he's a vampire, and it turns out no, he's just a chill guy, but his madness is his own internal paranoia.
Aww.
Yeah, so there's loads of great fucking Malkavian NPCs in the world that you can pull for your books if you can't think of any good ideas.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! Loresheets for that are for Malkavian only. Malkavian.
Malkavian.
Macaulay Culkin. These are only for Macaulay Culkin.
Only he gets them.
Only he can have these.
How many toddlers can Macaulay Culkin take down in a booby-trapped house?
Careful.
Many. Descendant of Vicenticina. I nailed it.
Yeah.
If you want to play Malkavian that is going to like counsel and support others and be able to break blood bonds, there's some good fucking shit in that.
Hell yeah.
There is The Cobweb. It is in the Chicago by Night book. You get cool brain connecting zoomies. This is how I wrote that. I was very tired at the end of the script, guys.
Yup.
There's also the Malkavian family in the Chicago Folios book. You do group therapy with Sun, who is the primogen for the Malkavians, and it's a great time, and there's nothing sinister happening.
No way.
None will go wrong.
And nothing will go to Starfall Ranch. That is a lore sheet in Forgotten Religions, which is one of the splat books for Cult of the Blood Gods.
Just says, join a cult!
Join a cult! That's all this lore sheet is. It is a Malkavian cult that you can join. It's good. The cult is in, like, northwestern America, somewhere in, like, Washington State, Oregon somewhere in there. Yeah, and it's like, we're all one.
Good.
They're kind of right, though.
We are all one.
Yeah, I was like, it feels like just join us already. Would you like to be double us?
Do you want to be me again?
Yeah.
So would Starfall, like flirty fishing, be kind of similar to any other embrace then?
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, so if you want to do a Malkavian cult that is mostly wholesome, about as wholesome as it's gonna get.
Do Cult of Shalem.
Yeah.
You are just trying to, bring people comfort in the cult of Shalem.
But you and I are one, and if you are dead, then I am also dead.
It's true.
Anyway, so that's the clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyone got any final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
I'm sticking with it, man. I think these are the buddiest clan.
Mm-hmm.
You got to watch them. You got to keep an eye on them. Mm-hmm. But they're the buddiest clan so far.
Yeah, they're a lot of chill vibes. Most of it.
Yeah.
It's chill vibes combined with the horrifying tragedy of understanding ultimate truth and suffering because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you're just like, I've seen things, and you're trying to like desperately tell people, and they're just like, she's crazy.
Whatever, man. Let's sit on this beanbag.
Yeah, there's like, look, I understand that this is very important to you, but like, I have a city to run, and I need you to shut the fuck up.
They're like your friend who's like chill, and then one day you just go to the house and they're just burning random stuff, and like, oh, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I need to do some spring cleaning, get rid of some stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like, so you're burning Halo action figures? Yeah, I didn't need them.
I don't get it.
Just like, look, I had too much stuff. Like, I don't need these things, man.
You could sell it.
Do we need money, though?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
As much as I wish we didn't.
Money is a concept.
Yes, the syndicate, man.
Yeah,
we're glad we keep
but
doing it.
having a house isn't.
I mean, look, anybody can get a house, but like, what is a home?
A place you live.
Ohana. I don't play Malkavians because I feel like I would be too good at it, and it would hit very close to home on some shit, and I'm like, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was about to say, it would hit that point where it's just like, you get into the philosophy bits where people are just like, we're going to stop listening to you. Why? You do make sense, but god damn it, like, I'm trying to make power moves.
As a leftist femme presenting person, I every day scream about things that people just completely ignored because they are busy and wrapped up in their own bullshit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, do you want to do that in game now?
Wait, what were you saying?
Damn it.
I'm sorry. I now, as a male presenting individual, now have to explain the concept that I believe you do not understand. Yep, there you go. Yeah, you don't want to
turn it around on you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Hell. I'm in hell.
It's the reason why you're more of a bourgeois.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, Paralyze.
Oh,
you make cool music. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Hold on.
Hunter, you don't
Go
get
ahead.
an opinion.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Man.
No, Hunter, now. No, whatever Hunter's about to say, future Hunter, cut it out.
Okay, yeah. No, I was gonna say, I mean, this is definitely still like my absolute favorite clan. And going back and reading it, I think it reinforced a lot of that.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of baggage with this clan that I think came more from players than it did the lores or the books. And like sitting down and actually reading the material, there is some stuff that did not age well. The first book has a few too many times of, oh, I'm quirky, so I made pop culture references while doing everything, like the Joker problem, kind of.
Yeah.
Deadpool, you can put in that pile too. Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
kind of just the annoying character squad. But
Without actually understanding the character or the tropes or what the fuck's going on. You know.
yeah, but I think they're good. They're a great clan. They definitely work really well as like plot devices. They're really easy to throw one into your new game because it's just like, I'm here because I had a vision. What's it mean? I don't know.
What'd you see? The city.
Look,
I saw you actually, and I was supposed to be here right now talking to you in this moment.
Look,
so I did that.
I don't know what the subject matter is, but I knew I'm supposed to talk to you.
You ever watch the Peanuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, the adults.
Yeah.
That's what the vision was.
Like they were very earnest about it. And it seemed important, but like I don't know. I woke up in my haven and there was a Post-it note
that just said "Buy toilet paper 2020."
But then I realized it was actually part of an anagram, because then you open the closet and there's just like this whole closet full of Post-it notes that you've been trying to piece together, and you realize like, oh wait, no, I don't want to go to New York. God, fuck, damn it.
There's one of my favorite like pieces of fluff from these books is about a Malkavian who doesn't believe he's crazy, and he thinks that like the craziness is due to that the people see in the clan is more due to like the reality breakers and just like society not treating people well, and he's going around trying to find proof that being a Malkavian inherently makes you crazy. I won't go into what he finds or any of that just because spoilers, but like it's a really, it's in revised. I believe it's one of the last ones before you get into the NPCs they have there, but like really, really good. And I think it puts a really good perspective on like these people don't necessarily think that they're insane or crazy or whatever you want to call it, or even mentally unwell. Well, like he talks about just being stressed. Like this whole thing is really fucking stressful and I don't like it, but like I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love, like, as I said in the Gehenna episode, the, like, potentiality of Malkav being the Madness Network, because, yeah, they have a good point where they're like, how the fuck do you kill that thing? Like, it's a good way to run, but I also, like, I mean, I'm glad Sarah pointed it out. Probably, this is factual proof, lowest percentage of Nazis.
Yay!
Yeah, that's great. I'm hoping that we get more clans like that.
We got one clan that didn't go, Hitler had some ideas.
Those are some snazzy outfits, and we can oppress a people and genocide, that's fine. But
we've been doing that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's the Malkavians are a clan that is inherently about marginalized people.
Yeah, so it makes less sense for them.
So, and they generally, because of the way we in the West tend to interact with people with different perspectives or different ways of behaving, regardless if it's mental illness or not, tends to be, boo, put it in the gutter. That's kind of how a lot of these people are, and so them inherently just being like, fascism bad.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's the one thing that I like, that I can be like, it has less Nazis. And
Yay!
I'm very glad we got to the fact that it's just like, I can't remember which book they were in for the, I think it was the Dark Ages book where they had the high clans and the low clans. Because, as we've stated in the script, they just keep fluxing between being like, ooh, you're in high society, and you're the lesser, we don't care about you. It's just like, where are they?
Yeah.
I don't know where they are on the social totem pole.
Yeah, it's if you're someone like me who really likes getting into the philosophy of like power and violence and what that means in regards to society and story and player dynamics, Malkavian is a lot less intense in that regard. So if you don't want to fucks with that in your game, Malkavian might be a good option. Where you're just like, look, I just want to chill, bro, and like play Mario Kart.
Yeah, because that does lead into like the thought process that I like, that most people don't think, and you could if you wanted to, think of Malkavians as, yes, this is a power player. This is a person that's scheming and has things going on. Most people are like, we can just vibe. He'll probably tell me if he's about to do something. He's like, I'm going to take over your company.
If you want to play a Malkavian that is a super power player, there's precedent for that. Like the Prince of Boston is a Malkavian, and that's part of the video game for that, Swan Song.
No.
Well, also I talked about it last episode, but like a lot of scheming and like the Malkavian time meetups and like talking to each other through the cobweb, and we didn't get deep into like what all the cobweb is and what it can do. Like there's a lot of scheming that can go on while no one else knows it. Like there in the old books there's a whole language they could write on walls that only Malkavians could read. Like they are scheming their asses off, and everyone's like, oh, isn't that cute? They're playing Parcheesi in the corner.
Which, speaking of...
But they're also playing Parcheesi in the corner.
I don't think that we're going to do it for this clan episode, but maybe bonus episode later on down the line.
Yeah.
But the cobweb, yeah.
Yeah, just the cobweb.
Cobweb is such a big topic. I didn't think it would be fair to ruin the format of the deep dives just to spend however long on the fucking cobweb.
No,
It's like
that's
the
fair.
Abyss.
Yeah, it's like, if we're gonna talk about the Oblivion Abyss, like, that has to be its own fucking thing.
Yeah, which, yeah, that's the reason why I'm like, oh, future plans.
Yeah.
But either way, I think, as John said, thanks, Paralyze, unless...
Thank you, Paralyze,
Thank you, Paralyze.
for the music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
You
Thanks,
guys are
Hal.
cool.
I still find this. I still find the song title "Thousands of Dead Cyborgs" a threat.
I mean,
They're-
got to keep you in check somehow.
Look, if this is how you get good, if you're not one of the millions of dead cyborgs.
You forgot to add the word scrub.
Scrub.
There you go.
Hey.
Speaking of keeping individuals in check, John, roll over on your side at night. You're snoring a bit.
Huh? I don't snore.
It's fine. Yeah, so we exist on social medias. We have the Twitter poll, which will be up soon. Keep eyes out for that on at Blank Bodies.
I can't
Pod.
believe X Clan got in the poll this time.
Oh, Blank Bodies Pod is Instagram. Blank Bodies is the Twitter. Blank Bodies Podcast is the TikTok that I've been trying to do, but the universe has been like, fuck this six fish in particular. And by six fish, they mean me.
I mean, according to the emails I get, you're doing a bang up job.
Oh,
But
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Internet.
Yeah,
Uh,
Speaking of the emails,
yes, I mentioned it earlier too. But if you're listening to this the week it came out, our Patreon clan poll is up. That we put all the ones left over from the core book right now, and they're gonna pick. We pick the top 2 or 3, put it on the Twitter poll, and we pick a third if there's a tie, just to make everything even out. But if you want to get on that early poll and see who the world gets to vote on, we got that on Patreon. Otherwise, next Monday is when the Twitter poll goes up. We have an email, blankbodies@gmail.com. You can send us your love mail, your hate mail, the dreams you have at night, suggestions for episodes, anything that pops into your head, really. I would love if you sent me some prophecies. That would be cool.
Yeah, me too.
remember, folks, Hunter might be a fae. If you send him your dreams at night or your prophecies, you may not have them anymore.
I mean, that's how you get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, email me your true name, a bag of your fingernails. It'll be fine.
A moment of your time.
If you want to do the interview series that Hunter spearheads, if you got cool projects,
Hit him up there.
LARP, game writing books, songs, music, a jaunty dance.
Anything horror tabletop related in general. We've had people who make original games on. We've had people who do shows on, all kinds of stuff. So if you think that I would enjoy talking to you for 45 minutes to an hour and a half, shoot me an email. We'll figure it out.
We are here for community.
Speaking of community, we have a free Discord. We do streaming there. We do movie nights. There's a lot of hangouts. There's a New York by Night watch group. There's a bunch of little games going on. We've had random Jackbox nights.
Yeah.
There's random Deep Rock Galactic nights. There's all kinds of stuff. And if you join our Patreon, we have special roles and a little Patreon-only chat, but the majority of the Discord is free for everyone. So come in, say hi, hang out. People are writing their games together, talking about how reality is no longer locally real. All kinds of fun stuff.
Commit theft.
Yeah.
I mean, we as a podcast can't tell you to commit theft, but if you did, it's kind of a cool story.
The syndicate would disapprove.
And that's all the more reason to do it. Do we have any upcoming events to talk about?
We have, other than next week should be our Malkavian bonus episode. So
Yeah.
who the fuck knows what that's gonna be?
I had a poll actually on the Patreon for them to decide. I didn't get a full episode out of their choice, so I did that, and then I freaked the rest of the script. So we're gonna have fun.
I mean, we can also do the NPCs on that.
Oh,
one,
we're
too.
we're gonna have NPCs. We're gonna have the historical seer that our fans voted for on Patreon, and then
Please tell me it's the president's wife.
Oh yeah, we also have an itch where we put all our freebies if anybody gives a shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Check these guys out on Lanyap Gaming. They got a live play they do. And
Watch me be sad.
yeah.
We have.
I do that every day, Sarah.
I know.
It's gonna be way down the future when it actually comes out, but one of our players has started doing a Malkavian PC, and he's
nailing it.
He's nailing it, and it's so interesting. I'm like, That's an interesting take.
Yeah, it is, and I'm the one that has to deal with it.
Yeah, because you ran into it. Which also, for the listeners of the Blank Bodies podcast, that future project that is being filmed has Brutus Harrington from our Ventru episode that has been realized into, and he is exactly what I described him as. He wants the smoke.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully we can get that Ventru Malkavian alliance at some point.
Hopefully.
I also started a new podcast. It's called Confession Cam. Me and my friends John and Daisy sit down and watch reality shows and talk about them. I decided to pick what show we cover last, and my friend John fucked me over and is making me watch the new series of The Kardashians. So we are currently keeping up. We're watching season 2 of that.
Get fucked, my guy.
It's been an experience. If you want to hear a baffled me have to talk about people that I've avoided for 20 out of my 30 years of life on this world knowing about, it's a good time, and I've got a revenge show in mind for them. But
I love that this podcast is just going to slowly turn into weaponizing reality TV shows to hurt your friends.
I'm here for it, though.
I still say I am not anywhere a part of this, but I would like to just, and I know this might be stretching the bonds of reality TV, but I just want to put down Deadliest Warrior. Just as a fucking, a decompress show. Be like, this is just going to be two angry men yelling about how they're either historical or made up warrior.
What's the one we watched recently that was weirdly wholesome? It was like something Forge.
Oh yeah, Hero
Forged in Fire.
Forged in Fire. Yeah, that's
will kill.
That show is literally the epitome of peak wholesome boys will be boys.
Yeah, like the fact of
we made a big sword. Now let's hit something.
There's
with
one.
it.
Yeah, and then when they don't do catty comments, people are not fucking trying to get under each other's skin. It's just you did good, man. Like, yeah, your sword snapped, but I can see the quality of your craftsmanship and I'm just like, this is so nice.
Even the competitors, like I still say the thing that got me and Sarah into it was there is one expert that looks like an unhinged fey gremlin that came out of nowhere, and he always is just like, I do the sharpness murder test. He does it, and he's like, when it passes, he's like, your blade, it will kill. Literally, he always
Every
says
time.
Kill. I'm like, why are there
He's
E's?
just been hacking bulletin jelly for 20 minutes. He's covered in fake blood. And he's just the happiest goofy dad grin.
That is the job I want.
Yes.
That is my destiny.
Well, I mean, I
Hell
love the fact because the process of the show is literally they do the can it kill, and then they're like, it doesn't have sturdiness test. So you get done seeing these blades be badasses, and this big, usually the biggest, burliest dude comes out and he's like, all right, I'm going to hack a brick wall into it and see if it breaks. And I'm like,
I'm going to shoot your sword.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, shit like that. Anyways, we got to end this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to have Malkavian ramblings, and then we're going to have a meeting.
Hey, that's completely on theme.
Look, if we have to have a meeting, that means something's happening in the plot, and I'm busy.
Not always. Sometimes
I'm
the meeting's
busy!
just because they want to talk about Parks and Rec.
Goodbye.
No.
Don't forget to send me your prophecies and dreams. Good night.
Don't do that.
He wants your toenails. Good night.
Don't.
Thanks for all the fish.
It's a trap.
Give me Pepsi, please. Give me Pepsi, please. Give me Pepsi, please. And hot dog, please, tonight. Give me hot dog, please. Give me hot dog, please. Give me hot dog, please. And Pepsi, please, tonight. Make sure when you ask your parents for something good, you say please and thank you. That way, you can get a tasty treat every night. A hot dog or a Pepsi. Or give me Pepsi, please. Give me hot dog, please. Give me Pepsi, please. Give me hot dog, please. Give me Pepsi, please. Give me hot dog, please. Give me Pepsi drink. Give me hot dog meat.